Let's speculate about the possible story for Age of Ultron as based off this new trailer just released. First thing, there's going to be a much bigger body count. There's the scene in the trailer where Captain America is trying to stop this car from falling off this building or bridge or whatever, and the bumper just rips off in his hands, with the people in it presumably falling to their death. We don't see any people in the cars, but there must be people in there. Why else would Captain America try to stop a car? But that combined with, on the IMDb page, there's a lot of people in Slovenia, I think it's called, the fictional country that in the comics Ultron completely wipes out. So this, combined with that, seems to suggest there's going to be a much bigger body count. And it's going to be much darker, which I think is good, because that was one of the problems I had with Avengers, is they're making an effort to evacuate civilians, as they should, but clearly you can't evacuate the whole city. They do make a brief mention that people died in it, but you don't really see it. The audience was shielded from the reality of what was happening there. So hopefully in this, we will see human collateral damage much more so. Doesn't need to get to Man of Steel levels, but I would just like to see consequence a bit more, especially if we're going into Civil War. It's kind of interesting because Batman v Superman is probably going to be trying to tone that down and get a bit lighter, while here, Age of Ultron is trying to darken things up and get a bit more intense, so they're kind of like just swapping over in that way. So yes, it's going to be much darker, there's going to be a lot more death, but one thing you can really almost taste in this trailer is Civil War. It's so tangible you can almost smell it right in front of you. Tony Stark saying that he wanted to build a suit of armor around the world, that immediately made me think of what Hydra was doing with all the helicarriers surrounding the world.
I tried to create a suit of armor around the world, but I created something terrible.
No doubt that's going to remind Captain America of that as well. Whether Stark is aware of it or not, kind of his plan of having a suit of armor around the world is eerily similar to Hydra's, although Tony's plans obviously would have had the guns pointing out into space instead of down back at the Earth, but still, I don't like guns over my head. Whether they're Stark's or Hydra's, I don't care. So not only is Stark coming perilously close to the Hydra type of plan, he's also using Loki's scepter. Really? You're using Loki, one of the worst villains we've had before this, we're using his scepter for Ultron, and you don't see any problem with that. And there's reports even that he might take some of the coding from some of the Chitaris and weave it in. Like, that's crazy, man. No wonder Ultron turns into a psycho. He's taking like 3 villain sources and combining them all, and oh, why is he suddenly turned into a villain? Gee, I wonder. And after having seen this trailer, I think we can very safely say it will end with both Hulk and Thor off-world. Okay, because as has been mentioned with previous trailers, it looks like Thor ends up getting trapped in this kind of limbo reality. I think it's called Hell with 1 L. And rumors have it that Hulk will be shot into space at the end. And you know what? I am all but positive that is exactly what's going to happen, because Tony Stark is getting choked by Thor and he's getting punched by Hulk. That's no way to go into Civil War. If Tony Stark has Thor and Hulk trying to beat him up, there is no way it's going to be even close to a fair fight with him and Captain America. So they're going to remove Thor and Hulk out of the equation for Civil War for it to be a fair fight. Because if either of them is there, based on what we've seen in this trailer, they're all just going to be hammering into Stark. Everyone seems to be hating Stark in this. So it's going to be a higher body count. We're going to see Stark's plans unwittingly being very villainous in nature, and we're going to see Thor and Hulk taken out of the equation by the end of the movie. A number of these elements I actually did bring into my fan fiction of Age of Ultron. If you want to see some of the similarities and differences, you can click right here. Or if you haven't seen the cool videos one yet, you can click over here.